Has it been a while since the end of your last relationship or divorce? And do you find yourself still trying to heal? Well, on today's episode, we're going to talk about the healing journey, what you should be doing, what you shouldn't be doing, and everything in between. And if you don't know by now, I'm Myesha, life strategist for women who want it all, author, speaker, and your new best friend. The healing journey is so very important. And a lot of us don't realize it. Sometimes divorces or in the relationship happens and we're caught off guard. We don't know, so we don't prepare for it. There isn't a book that's handed out where you get to see step by step what you should or should not be doing. We're all kind of figuring it out. And I know for me, healing has been one of the most underrated but overperforming parts of this experience. It's been about a year and 4 months for me. I can say that I'm feeling the best that I've ever felt in this moment, and it took me some time to get there. Healing is not linear. There's ups and downs, there's trigger points, there's things that we don't know are down the road that affect how we feel. It's important to practice patience and give yourself a lot of grace because we don't know fully what we're doing. I'm gonna humanize the experience first, okay? Here are a few things that a lot of people do that actually aren't good for you in your healing journey. Number one, avoidance. Okay, I know. It's a big one to handle. I've met women that have been separated for 15 years and still married. People who have decided to handle the grief in a way that's best for them. But avoidance and not dealing with it is not helpful. All you do is delay the inevitable. You put it in a drawer and then you just close it up and say, I'll tackle this later. Deal with it. Avoiding the truth only hurts you. We also isolate. We say this is too much, it's too much shame, it's too much embarrassment, it's just too much, and then we just leave. We just get out of there. We hide. We hide the truth of our life and our story and what's happening. Having a marriage or relationship over confronts us to our core, but that doesn't mean that you are still not worthy of being in your own life. Isolating and retreating once again suspends the inevitable. At some point, you're gonna be seen. I met people that picked up their whole house and moved to another state, and they started all over. That's what they felt like they needed to do. And some people also stay stuck. They're legally divorced, the relationship is over, and I promise you 10 years later, they're still at the scene of the crime. They never grew beyond that. The hurt was so impactful, so traumatizing, so debilitating that they make a choice to just leave it there and life stops. If you are a person that's on a healing journey and wanting to heal and recover and move forward and eventually find love, you will have to decide that enough is enough. I'm done. I'm done babysitting this pain. I'm done reliving my losses. I'm done thinking and rehearsing the failure of this marriage or this relationship or it being over or all the expectations you have. At some point, you get to decide enough is enough. Many of us don't heal because we stay stuck in what happened to us. Take the time you need. Listen, nobody can define that. I can't even define that. I don't know what's ahead of me. A year and a half from now, I might wake up and be sobbing and weeping. I embrace it, but I've also decided to keep moving forward. You're gonna catch me on my path, tears. You're not gonna find me where you left me. That's for sure. But we all can be in control of that. And somebody will tell me today, they're gonna say, oh, Myesha, you don't understand what I went through. I will never trust again. I will never love again. You will have exactly what you speak. May this video be your permission to get up and move forward. Nothing you do in your own strength and power will bring that relationship back. You may never get the words you hear. You may never get a I'm sorry. You may never get the solution or the reason why it all had to happen. That may never come. But your heart is still beating. Life is still going on. Love is still all around you. If you are a person that finds yourself stuck, I don't know how you will be able to heal if you are unwilling to let go of what was. So we kind of talked about the things that aren't as helpful. Now let's talk about some things that are helpful. Healing from generational trauma. That means grandmama and them. There are things that you are wrestling through and having to manage that are in your bloodline. I saw my grandparents, they've been married 67 years. My parents have been married 42 years. But there were things that I've learned in both of those marriages that were generational. I had a choice. I decided I want to do something different. And I didn't know what was waiting for me when I decided I wanted to heal, and I wanted to heal for real. The moment that the divorce was happening, all my insecurities popped up. My self-esteem issues, my self-worth was in the toilet. I didn't even know if I would ever have another love. And I thought, where did this come from? And that's what helped me start doing the work, generational work, seeking out my therapist and talking to people and praying about it and actually being open to hearing. I looked at all of the relationships in my family. I looked at all the healthy relationships in my family. I'm talking about all on my dad's side, my mom's side. Where did we get the definition of love? What does love look like? What did I experience growing up as a child? What was good about that? What was not so good about that? What allowed me to be in my physical shoes right now? How did I get here? Because I never want to be here again. On your healing journey, consider the generational trauma. Ask your grandparents. I went and sat with my grandfather. I asked him about his grandmother. What was your grandparents like? What was their relationship like? I asked my dad. His mom passed before I was even born. What was her marriage like? Do some research. And if you don't know, you can literally sit alone in your room and think of it. Your aunties, your uncles, your cousins. Where is it? And you know what I did? I couldn't fix everybody's life. What I said was, it stops with me. Help me do my work. Help me heal in these areas that have nothing to do with me. Teach me, God, what you want me to see. Another thing we can do to heal, therapy. I was in therapy for 5 years, weekly talk therapy. Started off in my graduate program. I would have never gone because, I thought therapy was for people who are crazy, right? You go see a shrink because you got issues. And of course, perfect Patty, I didn't have any issues. There was no reason for me to go to therapy because there was nothing wrong with me because I followed the good book and I did everything that I was supposed to do. Therefore, if there was a problem, of course, it was everybody else. It had nothing to do with me. And I get in this graduate program at Biola University, and a requirement is that you had to go to therapy for 6 months. And I was scared. I was like, I have not talked to anybody. I don't know what I'm gonna say. There is really not a lot wrong. That 6 months ended up being 5 years. And what I have found is the therapeutic relationship in and of itself is healing. It taught me how to engage another person with a mutual benefit for a period of time. And most importantly, you know what the therapist taught me? That I was worthy of somebody sitting and listening to me talk about me. That I was worthy of being heard and understood. That what I had to say was important. I used to tease all the time, my therapist was my first real friend, okay? That's where I laid it out. I was like, you about to hear it all. I'm about to spill all the tea. And I got to share about things I experienced in church and misunderstandings and all kinds of things. Before I ever even mentioned divorce, I had been processing and working and fine-tuning and learning more about myself and healing and confronting things. I know it may not feel comfortable for you, but it's important in the healing journey to have another person alongside you, at least for a certain part of the race. It's affirming. It helps reflect back to you what you're saying, what you're not saying. Shameless plug, if you want to hook up with me, just let me know. Link in the bio, link in the description. But you always need somebody that understands. And my therapist happened to be that. So therapy is very important on the healing journey. Number 3, finding yourself again. I had to sit with this. Who am I? Now, we've asked this question many times in our life. And I was 40 saying, who am I now? Who am I in light of what has happened in my life? I had a frame for how life ran for me, where the church was, where business was, where my marriage was, my children. Everybody had a certain seat at the table. And then in one moment, all of that was done. And I had to say, well, who are you? What are you about? What's your mission? What's your vision? What's your core characteristics? What are you like? What's your confidence like? What's your self-esteem like? What's your inner world like? What do you do for others? Like, I started from the very beginning. And guess what was crucial in finding me? I kind of had to go back to see where I left me in the first place. And unfortunately, I picked up senior year in high school, and I had to remember the version of me that I was in high school, in middle school, as a child, what my dreams were then, the kind of woman that I thought I would be. I had to reconcile the inner child, the inner work, the little girl in me. And I was like, okay, I see. I'm the kind of person that at that age, 18, I'm doing whatever my man is doing. So I left a lot of me on the side of the road because I thought, I'm gonna make whatever you're doing great. Like, let's go build your vision. So even though it was good and everything was amazing and it worked out, there were parts of me that I abandoned. And in order to find the real me, I needed to reconcile that part of me that was left behind and the version of me that I feel like I am today. Find you. Spend some time thinking about the you that you remember before you lost grip with life. Hang out with her for a day. You've got to find you in this healing journey. Another thing you can do is live life without fear. Fear what people are going to say. Fear what's going to happen. Fear what's not going to happen. Fear of what the children are going to be like. Like, it's just so much. Fear is stress placed on outcomes that may never come. The fear will keep you back at the breakup, the divorce, at the end. Fear will keep you comfortable. Fear will keep you boxed in. It's time to say no to fear, and you can do it in very small ways. Maybe you're afraid to try something new. Try it. Maybe you're afraid to meet a new person. You're afraid to love again. Start small and work your way up. I have divorce fear. I have no fear in my life right now. The worst thing that could ever happen to me has already happened, and I've lived through it. I'm not afraid. And I invite you and give you permission to renegotiate your relationship with fear. It's keeping you from experiencing the beautiful, abundant life that's on the other side. And there's so many other parts of the healing journey that maybe I didn't mention. There's one other part that I think only happens in a new relationship. Relationships are mirrors. And when you are alone in healing, you can have tremendous progress, right? You can learn to be with yourself, to love yourself. You can learn all these things. You can have new experiences, meet new people. You can rebuild, you can start a new life. But you really won't see how fully healed you are until you're with another. And you have triggers, you have touch points. There are behaviors that only happen when you're with another person. So give grace to yourself. I know for me, I have not started dating and have decided to be with myself during this period. So as soon as I meet my next rendezvous, my next partner, I'm gonna be back in therapy. Because I know for a fact there are things I'm gonna learn about me in relationship the second time that I'll need to have support for. So keep an open mind, live your life. Give yourself grace. This is not one thing where you say, I'm healed now, I've arrived. It's a journey. You get setbacks, you go 2 steps forward, you get a step back. All of it is natural, it's normal. I just say be committed to the journey. Be committed to doing what's best for you and growing, doing your work, and coming out on the other side, the best version of yourself. So let me know in the comments, how are you healing? What are you doing on your journey that's making a difference right now? Share in we built a community of people right here, okay? We're a house full of champions, we're besties, we're all of that. And we're gonna help each other find our way back home. And if you haven't already, please like, subscribe, comment, share, let your friends know. I can't wait to celebrate with each of you and our healed self. Until next time, peace and love.